It's Black Friday, so what better day to update you on my novels, on my books, and to tell you exactly where you can find them and give you an update on some of the other books I'm writing.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast and consider becoming a channel member. I'm a huge reader, but I'm also an author. Did you know that about me? Well, the fact is, it's true. I've got 4 released books right here, and I wanted to share a little bit about them, tell you about them, and a lot of the stuff I have said before in previous videos, but I wanted to just reintroduce my books to you since it's Black Friday and you're trying to decide what to get your family member, your friend, maybe you know a bookworm at work, and you just want to get them something out of the box, something new. My main genre right now is fantasy, although I do intend to branch into other genres in the future. But I do have, this is my very first novella I ever released. And as you can see from that author photo when I first wrote this book, this is Cacophony, A Tale of Faith and Fear. And this is a supernatural thriller that follows a group of demons called the Grigori. These demons are targeting a town in Texas, and they think that they can fully take it over by oppressing the town's church. However, God, hearing the pleas of the pastor, as well as the angel Gabriel and a guardian angel named Christopher, God sends the rest of the archangels to come and save the town. And it has all kinds of twists and turns. My wife actually did the cover art for it. Now, the publisher, New Life Publishing, they did the lettering for it, but my wife actually designed this thing. It's meant to simulate the meaning of the title. So, a cacophony is a large noise being rendered basically, and it shatters glass. So that was kind of the idea when my wife designed it, which my wife did a fantastic job because the original cover that my publisher wanted it to be a chessboard, and I was like, yeah, that's not happening. But they were really willing to hear my critiques of the original design, and whenever I said, hey, I want to do this design that my wife did, they were fantastic, by the way. And also, I loved working with New Life Publishing. I was actually their first fictional book. They had only done nonfiction books, plenty of Bible study types, and they took mine in, and I was very excited about that. So, if you're a Christian and you're familiar with C.S. Lewis, The Screw Tapes Letters, or Frank Peretti, This Present Darkness, or anything like that, it's sort of that similar genre where angels and demons are warring together, and it was a lot of fun to write, and I hope you enjoy it. And like I said, this is my first published novella, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm very excited. Okay, up next, we have the first book in the Seven Royal series, and this is the book All Good Things. The cover was designed by an artist named Diesel Beagle, and she did a fantastic job. I love this. It captures the main character, Jasher, who is based sort of on Joshua from the Bible, and he has his magic blue glowing sword. So basically, the gist of it is Jasher, his kingdom is part of an alliance of 7 kingdoms. They get attacked by King Midas and a dark mage who leads a dark army named Fabius Thorn. And they go in and they send all of the heirs to the thrones out. Now, Jasher is immune to magic, but they know that he can't appear because the enemy will constantly be chasing him, so they put him in stasis. He wakes up 10 years later and rallies the other heirs, which you discover are famous fairy tale characters. So you have James, who's the brave woodsman, Philip Hansel, who is a combination of Prince Charming and Hansel from Hansel and Gretel. You've got Talia, who's the Sleeping Beauty, Belle from, of course, Beauty and the Beast, and Connor, who is sort of the archetype of the sailor buccaneer. And they all come together to go and take back their kingdoms, but rivalries, old wounds, those kind of delay it, and it all works in Fabius Thorn's favor. It's part 1 of what I'm calling the Dark Army trilogy, and it is immediately followed by Breaking the Stars, which features them facing off another member of the Dark Army called the Wicker Man, and he is gathering what he is calling the Zodiac Seals, because if he gets all of them, he becomes incredibly powerful. And they have to stop him before they do it, and it all leads to this epic climax. And I am working on part 3, which will come out soon. I don't have any plans for a title announcement just yet, but it's about a third of the way done. And I know I'm sorry this one is taking so long because I don't want to judge R.R. Martin of my stories here. So it's coming out. I've just hit a few creative snags, as well as I changed the direction of the story. Originally, when I was writing it, I felt it was too much like Breaking the Stars, so I decided to redo it and put a totally new spin on it where a law of magic gets broken, or at the very least gets bent. And also, there's a lot of tragedy involved in part 3. When the third one comes out, it will complete the Seven Royals Dark Army trilogy. Last but certainly not least, this is my most recent novella, Blessed Child. So, this story follows an elf princess who is widowed and her husband was human. Now, if you're familiar with sort of fantasy lore, usually when an elf and a human get together, their child is usually, and of course this depends on the author, but usually the child can decide whether it wants to be an elf or a human by the time they get to puberty. So with her husband passed away, they're just going to assume that the child is going to be an elf because she's going to raise it on her own with her father, who is the king of the kingdom. But they make a shocking discovery. They soon find out that the child is already a human, and they don't expect this, they don't understand it. And so her cousin, he decides that he's going to use this to cause unrest and secure his place on the throne of the elves. However, her father is so concerned for his safety, he seeks out Sir Matthew, who is a disgraced knight. He was actually relieved of duty from his knight order, and he is also a widower. He is suffering because of the loss of his wife, but he is trying to get his life back together and he's trying to redeem himself. So her father, the king, hires him to protect his daughter, Princess Quincy, and they become friends, and that soon changes things and the dynamic of the dangerous situation they are in. So definitely check this one out. And I put a lot of moral themes in this. It's life affirming. And if you were a Christian, I hope you will pick them all up and grab them. I make no secret that I'm a Christian and I put a lot of Christian themes into all my books because I believe that the Bible is the written, inspired word of God, and I hope to inform other people. Now, if you're not a Christian, read them anyway. Tell me what you think. I would love to hear what you think. Do you think outside of sort of the Christian fiction bubble that they stand the test of time? I would really love to hear your thoughts on it. And I really think if you're a parent and you want to read a book with your children, if they are 12 and up, you can pick up any of my novels. I try to avoid putting anything gratuitous in my books because I want parents to be able to expose their children to more, shall we say, mature reading, but without something that's strictly for mature audiences. So if they're 12 and up, and the reason I say 12 and up is because my stories do have a lot of violence and there are references to things, but again, I'm not graphic, I'm not gratuitous. I want to write it in a way where parents can read it with their teenagers. Now, that's not forever, but that's how I wrote these books. And I will continue to write books that way because I want families to be able to come together over a good book. And I really think you will over Blessed Child in particular. Like I said, it's my newest one. I'm very proud of it. My sister actually did the cover for it. And if you're interested in knowing the inspirations behind these stories, I actually have written articles for HollywoodandToto.com. If you just search my name, Jacob Airy, you'll be able to find those articles where I talk about what inspired me to write these novels. And I'm excited to share these stories with you. So if you're shopping on Black Friday and you don't know what to get, I hope you'll go to Amazon.com and pick up any of these books. They're all available on Amazon and they all are available in digital editions, as well as these are all available in paperback. But as you can see, Blessed Child, it's available in digital and paperback and in hardcover. So I highly recommend it. I hope you go and check them all out and leave me a 5-star review because it really helps out small indie creators like myself. And if you're kind of like, well, I'm not ready to commit to a book, I'd like to see something of your work outside of this before I purchase something, head on over to my locals community. The link is in the description of the video. I publish several short stories there, and they're all free to read. So you can check it out. There's one called Bored that I think you will especially enjoy, especially if you like vampire fiction. For Black Friday and Cyber Monday, if you're looking for something new for a friend, a family member, they don't have to be a bookworm, but if they just like something good to read, check out all my books. I really hope that you will head on over, purchase them, and have a great time, because that's what I wrote them for. I write to inspire. I'm not trying to talk about the nihilism of the world. That's all been played out. I want to inspire people with my writing, with true heroism of men and women in these fantasy spaces, in these supernatural spaces, in these sword and sorcery spaces. So head on over Amazon.com, pick up one or all of my books, leave me a 5-star review. Thank you in advance. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. Don't forget, you can head on over to my website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I talk about books, film, anime, television, and so much more. It's totally free. You just sign up with your email, and there are no ads. So it's, like I said, absolutely free. Just sign up with your email, and you'll get an article daily. If you want to support me, you can head on over to my locals community. I mentioned it earlier. The link is in the description of the video. Besides reading my short stories there, you can also support me monthly or send me tips for those short stories, as well as articles that I post. And a lot of them are exclusive to locals. And of course, I've already mentioned my books. Purchase one or all of them at Amazon.com. Leave me a 5-star review. As I mentioned earlier, it really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.